Right, this is a quick one today. I haven't really prepared this very well or anything like that. What happened was I just saw a video on YouTube of Julian Large talking about playing ideas and improvising and things like that. And not only is he amazing at playing, he's really good at putting these ideas across. And it's probably a bit pointless me even doing this because you might as well watch him talking about it. But I wanted to just expand on one of the things he was saying a little bit and just talk about it from my own sort of experience of teaching for a long time. And what it is a thing that I see pretty much every day in lessons, is that people get a kind of anxiety about soloing, about sort of paranoia that they just sound the same all the time, but also just about learning the patterns and the scale patterns and learning the theory behind it and how to actually play a guitar solo and how to improvise, but then coming to do it and just being a bit stuck for ideas and worrying about it. Basically, it's like an anxiety thing. So one of the things that Julian Large was talking about is a really good way of curing that and breaking out of that. And what it is, it's giving yourself a little rule. And this might be an exercise rather than something you do every time you play, but as an exercise, give yourself a rule that you've got to stick to with the playing. And the example he gave in the video I just watched was, you play a phrase, where you end is where you start the next phrase. Now that's not necessarily the best, most melodic idea ever, but what it does is, I mean, when you see him do it, it's amazing, but what it does is it gives you a thing to focus on, and it takes away that anxiety about, oh, I don't know what I'm going to play next and I sound rubbish and all that kind of thing. So if I just take a key like B minor, okay, so we've got the pentatonic minor. Hopefully you can hear this guitar all right. I haven't plugged it in or anything. I'm just doing this really quickly and spontaneously. And that can be extended. You probably know some of this stuff, so I can extend that scale. I can play it here. It's all B minor, all B pentatonic minor. I'm just going to stick with that for the moment. So I'll do this. I'll play some phrases, and where I end, like the note I finish on, or the couple of notes I finish on, I'm going to then use that or those to then start the next phrase. So I haven't prepared anything, I'm just going to do it and see if it works. Okay, so. Okay, so I was definitely sticking to that rule there. I was trying to. So every time I finished a phrase, I then started the next phrase with either the same note or maybe the same couple of notes I just finished the first one with, the previous one. And that doesn't necessarily sound better than what I would have done if I'd have just sat here in front of the camera and played a bit of B minor improvisation. I'm not saying that that was better. It might have been, I don't know, I'll have to watch it back and see. But the point about it is that if you are kind of a bit anxious about your lead playing and you worry about what to play next and you worry that you're not sounding very good, this gives you something to focus on. You have to have the tools in the first place. You have to know the scale pattern and know the basics. But I see this all the time, so the people that do know the basics, know the patterns, know what they've got to do, but then they get a bit stuck and a bit hung up on how good they sound or how good they don't sound. This gives you this focus where you just think, right, you concentrate on doing this little task, this little rule that you've given yourself, and it just takes all of that away. It's brilliant. Now I'm not particularly anxious about my lead playing, so it doesn't make that much difference to me when I do that, but it's interesting. It gives me a thing to do that means I play differently to what I would have done otherwise, so that's really cool. But I know from my lessons that this kind of idea works. It definitely works. So if you do think that you're someone that kind of suffers from that, then definitely try it. That was one example of a kind of a rule. That's the one I got from the Julian Large thing. Another quick example would be, off the top of my head, something like play a phrase that's high up and then follow it with one that's low down. So, within that scale pattern where I was just playing the B pentatonic minor in different places, I kind of went up to about here, but I went down to about here. So you could maybe do something like, now it's a little bit disjointed doing that, but it still works. It's still a thing that gives you something to focus on. Another thing you could do, which is similar, is a call and response, where you try to make it sound like a conversation. That's probably a whole other video to look at on that, but just quickly, staying in the same key, same scale, play a phrase that sounds maybe like a question. So questions tend to go up. When people speak and they ask a question, they often go up with their voice. And then the answer might come down as a response to the question. So I play a phrase that goes up, answer it with one that comes down. Simple idea. That's the question. The answer could be another question. Answer. So I'll do a few more. That kind of thing, and it just gives you something, as I said, to focus on, takes your attention away from worrying about what you're doing, and it kind of removes you a little bit from what you're playing in a strange way, and it makes you a bit more relaxed about it. It's weird how it works, but it seems to. Give it a try. Please let me know in the comments if it does work. Let me know if it doesn't as well. In my experience, this does work, but loads of people might tell me in the comments, no, it's rubbish, it doesn't work. So let me know. Okay, please click like if you like this one. Thanks.